Analytics. My name is Pavitra and I'm a pre-sales engineer with Zoho Analytics. Before we get on to the session, let's quickly have a look at the agenda for today's session. In today's session, we will discuss about what is Marketing Advanced Analytics, Zoho Analytics Overview, why Advanced Marketing Media Analytics, how to set up Advanced Marketing Media Analytics. We'll have the product demonstration, pricing, and at last the Q&A session. So before we move on to the session, if you have any issues in viewing the screen or with the audio, you can drop it in the chat box so that I can get that address before we begin with the session. Right. So when you're a brand that has a website with useful content or unique products, your website is destined to attract an audience. Even so, you must be able to hold and convert the potential customers into loyal customers. So all this depends on how you choose to optimize and use these metrics so that they best fit your brand and website. There are so many different ways that a website can increase their rates of retention and conversion. But prior to that, taking into that endeavor, you must figure out which specific metrics is that you're trying to improve for your brand or website. So on that note, let's have a discussion about what is marketing analytics. Marketing analytics is a practice of measuring, managing, and also analyzing the marketing performance, which in turn will help you to maximize the effectiveness and optimize the ROI. Marketing analytics provides you a wide range of metrics or insights for your companies, ranging from the ROI, the driven rate, the click-through rate, and lots more. Now, let's have an overview about Zoho Analytics. Zoho Analytics is a cloud-based business intelligence tool which offers analytical solutions. Zoho Analytics has been there in the market for more than a decade, and we are one of the pioneers in the BI space. Currently, Zoho Analytics has got more than 1 million plus active users, and among which we have 6,000 plus paying customers. For the good work that we have been doing so far, Zoho Analytics has been awarded by some of the top software reviewers platforms such as TrustRadius, GitApp, and Jita Crowd. We have also been awarded by the BARC and the BI survey. Now, let's quickly have a look at why one should go for marketing analytics. Marketing analytics helps you to get a big picture of the marketing trends. It is highly necessary to know what is happening and what is the trend so that you can enhance the business accordingly. Marketing analytics also helps you to determine which program works and why. So when you run multiple campaigns or when you run some ads, you need to understand which is working out for your business and what is the reason behind it, which in turn helps you to strengthen the motive and enhance the business performance. The next thing is about monitoring the trends over a period of time. Trend plays a very important role in each and every aspect of your business, and so with some marketing campaigns or with any ads that you constitute. So you need to understand how a particular thing is working out for a period of time, and based on which you can easily determine which is going to work in the future. It also helps you to thoroughly understand the ROI of each and every program. So return on investment is a very essential factor for any business. So marketing analytics will help you to closely and carefully monitor the ROI of each and every program that you conduct. Also, it helps you in forecasting the future results. So forecasting plays a very important role in taking any decision for a business. So based on your past data trends, how the business is going to be in the future is a very essential part for any business. Now, let's discuss about some of the key features that we have in Zoho Analytics. Zoho Analytics comprises of 3 key features. The first is getting the data into Zoho Analytics platform. Your data might reside anywhere or across multiple data sources. The first and foremost step is to get those information into Zoho Analytics platform. The second is about visualization. So after having imported the data into Zoho Analytics platform, let's see how to visualize this data in different forms. So what are the different kinds of charts, KPI widgets or dashboards that you can generate on this data set? The third feature is about sharing and collaboration process. So after having created the required reports and dashboards, how are we going to share and collaborate it with our end users? Now, let's discuss about each of these features in depth. The first one is about importing the data into Zoho Analytics platform. As I told earlier, your data might reside anywhere, and our first thing is to get those data into Zoho Analytics platform. So you might have the data in Google Analytics or Google Ads. Apart from that, you also have a couple of other applications or data sources where your data actually resides. So in Zoho Analytics, you can blend the data across multiple platforms and create some insightful reports and dashboards. When you import the data from any cloud-based business application, it is also possible to schedule the import. So automatically the data will be fetched from the source into your Zoho Analytics platform so that you do not have to go and manually import the data every time. The next is about the visualization. Zoho Analytics offers you a wide range of visualization options, like you can create some KPI widgets, dashboards, charts, and lots more. So what you see here is a dashboard which is created based on multiple metrics that I deal with Google AdWords. So you can have multiple charts and widgets added to a single dashboard. The third feature is about sharing and collaboration. Zoho Analytics offers a wide range of sharing and collaboration options. The first one is privately sharing a report or a dashboard with a user. So in Zoho Analytics, it is possible to fine-grain the levels of permissions and filter criteria when you share a report or a dashboard with a user. The second option is about embedding the report within a web page or a blog. So if you have a web page or a blog, and if you would like to have these reports embedded there, then you can easily do it with the help of Zoho Analytics iframe. The third option is about emailing the reports to the users. Directly from the Zoho Analytics platform, you can email the reports to the user. And while emailing the reports, you can also schedule those emails. So rather than manually sending it every time, you can set up a schedule, maybe like a weekly schedule or a daily schedule for that matter. The reports will be automatically sent at a periodic interval. The fourth option is about exporting the reports in different forms. In Zoho Analytics, it is possible to export the reports in the form of PDF, CSV, images, and lots more. Based on the type of the report, the export option varies. Now, let's discuss about some of the other advanced features that are present in Zoho Analytics. The first feature which I'm going to discuss is about the forecasting technique. In Zoho Analytics, we have got a built-in forecasting algorithm which helps you in predicting the data for the future based on the past data trends. The algorithm will closely monitor the past data trends and based on which it will be able to predict the information for the future. The second feature is the Ask Zia feature. Ask Zia is an artificial intelligence and machine learning tool which helps you in creating reports based on any text commands or voice commands that you give. So Zia is a system which has been trained in such a way that it understands the native language and it corresponds to it accordingly. The third feature is about the data alerts. In Zoho Analytics, it is also possible to trigger some data alerts. So based on different criteria, you can trigger a notification and this notification can be triggered in different ways. So either you can send it in the form of an email or an in-app notification. So since Zoho Analytics has got a mobile and tablet application, you can trigger it in the form of a notification. The fourth feature is about the data snapshot. Data snapshot is a technique which lets you to capture the information across different time periods. So it captures the information based on the schedule that we give at a periodic interval, and all the captured information will be stored in a single table from which you can create some insightful reports and dashboards. Now, let's see how to set up this advanced marketing analytics. The first step here is to log in into your Zoho Analytics account with a username and password. And once you log in, on the top right, you will have this option, import your data. Upon clicking on that, you can select the application of your choice. So I'm going to select Google Analytics here, and then you can authenticate your Google Analytics account, and followed by which you can select the profile. So you can select the modules and the fields that you would like to import. So once you select all those information, the data will be imported into Zoho Analytics. So let me quickly take you to the Zoho Analytics homepage to see how the data will look like once you import the data. So I'm going to navigate to the other page. So once you import the data into Zoho Analytics platform, this is how it will look like. So you will have, this is for the Google Ads data. So once I set up the Google Ads integration, this is how it's going to look like. Whatever modules that I have in Google Ads, everything will be imported here. Just a minute. So the first thing which we are going to discuss is about the Google Analytics data. So once you import the Google Analytics data, this is how it will look like. Whatever modules that you have in Google Analytics, everything will be imported into Zoho Analytics. Even if you have got any custom fields or custom modules, you can import that also into Zoho Analytics. So some of the modules that we deal with Google Analytics data are based on AdWords, the demographic information, e-commerce information, and then we have a separate module that tracks about the different events. So in Google Analytics, we have all the information put together. But when it comes to Zoho Analytics, we have it segregated in different tables. So each table corresponds to a particular content. Adding to this, the moment you set up the integration, a set of reports and dashboards are also generated on this data set. So you have somewhere around 30 to 40 reports. So all these reports are pre-built on your data set. And along with that, we also have a set of dashboards that are available for us. So all these reports will be generated on your data set. In case you would like to use any of these reports, you can start using it. If you want to modify also, you can modify it. Adding to that, if you want to create any custom reports, you're good to go with that as well. So let's quickly have a look at a couple of reports that are automatically available here. So we have a report that's going to talk about the number of impressions based on this month and the previous month. So we have a report here. This talks about the number of impressions. So, okay. So this particular report has the information for March and April. So in this particular report, if I would like to change the type of report or if I would like to modify this report, I can always do it. So instead of day wise, I can also select month and year or something like that. So likewise, whatever modification that you want to do to this report, you can do it. And after doing it, you can click on save to save those changes. Similarly, we also have a pivot table here. So pivot table are more like a customized report where you can define what you want across the rows and the columns. So this is a pivot which is created based on the event tracking. So what are the different events I have? What was the action that was carried out? And some metrics about the different events I've got. So to this report, if I want to apply some themes or if I would like to modify this report, I can always do it. So all these are the ready-made reports that we're discussing. With Google Ads data, we will see how to create some custom reports. So I just want to walk you through what are the readily available reports available. And we'll also have a set of dashboards here. Let's take a look at one of the dashboards that we have here. This is the dashboard which is based on page tracking overview. This particular dashboard comprises of all the metrics related to page tracking information. So this gets me an information like how many page views did I have, average time spent on a particular page, sessions and the bounce rate, entrances, how many new people have entered into my web page. So likewise, I also have other metrics like the number of bounces versus the entrances, and then we have the average session per page. In this report, you can also filter it. So the entire dashboard can be filtered based on a particular criteria that you select. So here I have selected a particular landing page, maybe the login page, and I can see all the metrics related to landing page alone. So likewise, you can select couple of pages and you will be able to see the information only for those pages. So this is all about the Google Analytics data. Now let's go move on to the Google AdWords data and we will discuss in depth about Google Ads data. So I'm going to my home page and here I have the Google Ads data. So this is the Google Ads workspace we have. In this workspace, we have all the tables from Google AdWords. With regard to Google AdWords, these are all the different tables we will have and this is how the informations are spread across. So let's discuss about these tables first. So we have an accounts module where you get to see the account related information and the account related performance are present in account performance table. So then next to the accounts, we have the campaigns information. So in each account, you run different campaigns. All the campaign names are present in campaigns table. The performance of each campaign is captured in campaigns performance table. So all the metrics related to each and every campaign will be captured in this particular table. So if you want to create any report that's going to talk about the number of impressions based on different campaigns, then you have to ensure you get those information from campaign performance table. And in each campaign will have different ad groups. So we have a table called ad groups, which comprises of the ad group name. Then we have a table called ad group performance, which has the information based on each ad groups. So if you notice, every table will have an impression, interaction, clicks. But you need to make sure what actually you need, whether you want an impression based on ad groups or an impression based on campaigns. So based on that, you have to select the corresponding table. And then we also have a table which talks about the ad performance. So each ad group will have different ads and the performance of each ad is present here. And a very important thing which I would like to highlight here is each and every table in this workspace are related. So the flow is this way. We have the accounts. Each account has different campaigns. Each campaign has separate ad groups and under each ad group we will have different ads running. So when I take this ad performance table, I can see how this particular table is related to other tables in my workspace. So you click on more and select model diagram. I'll show it again. So you click on more and select model diagram. So this tells you how a particular table is related to other tables in this workspace. So similarly, if I go to campaigns table, I can see how this particular campaigns table is related to every other table that we have in this workspace. So through this campaign ID field, this table is related to the other tables. So the reason why I'm showing you this information is that when you have to create a report based on the data from multiple tables, it is highly essential that the tables have to be related. So there should be some kind of pre-existing relationship between the tables, or otherwise, if you want, you can also establish a relationship through query tables. So now let's quickly take a look at some of the readily available reports on this ads data. So let's close this table. Yes. So if you go to reports tab here, you get to see the set of all the reports which are readily available. You get somewhere around 50, 60 plus reports. So if I'm looking for a report which talks about the ad group's performance or the campaign performance, I have reports related to that which is pre-built for me. So I do not have to spend my time and energy to create that. So this is a report which talks about the campaigns, that is the number of clicks by different campaigns across different months. So I have all the month information across x-axis and the number of clicks across y-axis. In my report, each color represents a different campaign. I can also filter this report based on a particular campaign and see the information accordingly. So you can select a particular campaign and accordingly you can filter this information. So this is one day for the competitor campaign. Okay, so this is how the reports, chart reports are. And then, so first let me walk you through the ready-made reports. You might wonder why isn't she showing about creating reports. So the next thing we will be discussing is about how to custom create reports. Okay, so this is one of the reports, and then we also have a pivot table similar to how we saw for Google Analytics data. And adding to that, we also have some set of dashboards which are readily available here. So this is a dashboard which talks about campaign performance. So this campaign performance dashboard has all the metrics related to the campaigns. Since I have the data only till April 2020, all the metrics are based on the last 2 months. Like basically, I want to compare this month data with the previous month. Okay, so you have every possible metrics on campaigns. So now let's move ahead and see how to create these reports from the scratch. Creating reports in Zoho Analytics is going to be very simple. In order to create any report, you can click on create option on the top left, and these are all the different reporting options that we have. So if you want to graphically represent any data, you can click on chart view, and then we have the pivot view, which helps you in creating a pivot report, followed by which we have the summary view, tabular view, and at last dashboard view. So let's go through this all one by one. So to begin with, let's select chart view here, and in the drop down you can select the base table on which you would like to construct this report. So I want to construct this report based on the ad performance, and then click on OK. So creating reports is going to be pretty simple. All that you have to do is just drag and drop the fields into the corresponding X and Y axis. So towards my left, I have all the fields, and towards my right, I have the X and Y axis. So I just have to drag and drop these fields into the X and Y axis shell. So let's begin with that. The report which we are going to create is going to give me the number of impressions on a particular day. So I have the date field which I'll drop it under x-axis and the impressions under y-axis. So now you can see the month-on-month performance, that is the number of impressions across different months. Out of these many impressions, I also want to know how many got converted into clicks. So I can drop the clicks information also here and then generate. So I can split the axis. So you have impressions in one of the axes and clicks in another axis. Adding to this, I also want to visualize how much I was able to convert out of this. So you have the conversion information, you can drop it under y-axis. So in a single report, you can see the total number of impressions, how many got converted into clicks, and how many got converted actually. Okay, so you can see this information this way. Okay, this gets you a better picture. So this is the total number of impressions, and this is the number of clicks, and this is the number of conversion. Okay, so on the top we have different types of reports. You can change the type of report according to your need. So whichever report you are comfortable in, you can select that. So these are all the different reporting types we have. So maybe an area chart or bar chart, you can choose anything of your choice. Adding to this, if I would like to filter this information based on any criteria, I can make use of this filters option. So you just have to drag and drop the criteria under filters. We have different ads here, and this information is spread across different months. So I want this information only for a particular period. So maybe I'm interested only for this year. So I'm going to select 2020. So I get to see the information only for the year 2020. Similarly, you can also have other filters added to this box. The next option is user filter. So the difference between filters and user filter is that when you apply a filter, the criteria will be pre-applied to the filter. Whereas in the user filter, the end user can select the filter criteria of their choice. So rather than you defining the criteria, you can give an option to the end users to select the filter criteria of their choice. So basically, as the name suggests, you give the flexibility to the end users to select the criteria and interact with the report. You can have multiple user filters added to a single report. Adding to this, there are also other customizations that are available in the chart report. On the top right, we have settings. You can click on that. And these are all the different settings we have. The first one is the general settings where you can provide some title for this report. And then followed by which we have the description box where you can provide some description about this report. The next is the axis settings where you can define the X and Y axis label. So what is going to come across X and Y axis? Followed by which we have borders and colors where you can define the border color of the report. And then we have the format option where you can format the values, how it is displayed on the chart. The next is the legend feature. The legend feature allows you to define the color of the report. Either you can choose it from the predefined color palette, or you can also select the color of your choice and then you can create a new palette for yourself. The next is a threshold option. So you can also define some threshold values on this chart report. So for instance, I would like to have at least 250 conversions every month. That is the minimum that I expect from my business. Looking at this report, it's very hard for me to understand or figure out whether I have reached this 250 in number or not. So I'm going to set up a threshold on this report so I can easily monitor how much I have reached. So here you can select any value of your choice. So I would like to go ahead with the conversions and you can give some random numbers, or if you would like to go with the average, you can select average. And this is going to be conversion threshold. So this threshold will be displayed in the form of an horizontal straight line on this chart report. So you can easily make out based on that. The next option is the drill down feature. In Zoho Analytics, it is possible to perform a deep dive analysis of your data from the data set itself. So currently we have the data starting from Jan till April. So these are all the impression, clicks and conversion. Now looking into this data, I can perform a deep dive analysis to further analyze this data. So for a particular month, I have 200 conversion. Now I would like to know from which ad I got these many conversion. So that is next step. And then if I go to a particular ad, again, I want to see on which particular month or a week I got more conversion. And what is the cost did I invest for that particular ad so that I got these many conversions. So these are the different metrics through which you can analyze your data. For that, you can define the path here. So there's a drill down path. Currently, we have month and year across x-axis. So when I get into a particular month, I can further drill down to different weeks. In that particular week, I can define by different ads. Then you can go by different ad type. So this path is purely customizable. You can provide any path of your choice. And the next option is about the forecasting feature. So forecasting feature lets you to analyze predict the data for the future. Based on your past data trends, you will be able to predict the information for the future. So here you can define the forecast value for which value you would like to forecast. So you can select any value and there's a space where you're going to provide the forecast length. And the next is about the trend line. So you can also define some trend lines on this particular chart report. You can also select a type of trends here, whichever type of trend you would like to go ahead with. Maybe with regard to the clicks, whether you want a logarithmic trend line or exponential trend line, you can select it here. And then you can click on apply. So this is the end report we have in hand. And here we can see the trend line across my data, and there's a threshold line which we have set up Talking about the drill down, for instance, I want to drill down this 152 conversion further for the month of April. So in order to perform the drill down, you just have to click on the data point here and then you can drill down to different weeks. So the month of April is further divided into different weeks. In a particular week, if I want to go, I can go and check by different ad types. And then I can also go by different ad name. So this is one such ad which got me more conversion. Then again, I can go and drill down and I can also see any other information that I want from this particular report. So this is all about the chart report. After creating this report, you can click on save icon on the top and then you can save this report. You can save this report under either of the pre-existing folders, or in case you want to create a new folder, you can also do that. I'm going to create a new folder here and then you can provide some name and save this report. The next type of report which we are going to discover today is about the pivot table. Click on create and select pivot view here. And the same step repeats again. You can select the table of your choice. So you can select any table and then click on OK. So in pivot report, let's see how to create a report based on the data from multiple tables. So towards my left, I have all the tables and the fields. I have the rows, columns, and data shelf towards my right. I just have to drag and drop the fields into the corresponding shelves. When I drop a particular field under the column shelf, I'll be able to see the values in the form of column headers. So these are all the different campaigns I have, and all my campaigns are displayed in the form of column headers. If I drop this under row shelf, I'll be able to see the campaigns listed across row. Any numeric values that you have, you can easily drop it under data shelf. So you just have to drag and drop those information under data shelf. So let's try to create a report based on data from multiple tables. So I have campaigns. Each campaign has different ad groups. So let's try to add the ad group name. Each ad group has different ads, and I want to investigate about different ads performance. So here you can just drag and drop whatever information you want to know about a particular ad, like impressions, clicks. So you can drop it under data shelf. You can have multiple fields added under each of these shelves. So after adding all the required fields, you can just click on generate graph. You will be able to see the report ready. So this is a report which is created based on the data from multiple tables. So here you have the campaign. Under each campaign, you have different ad groups, and then you have different ad names, followed by which we have the impressions, clicks, conversions, and every other information. You can also have some day field, like a date field. So you can see this information for different month and year. Okay. So the filters and user filter works the similar way how we discussed for the chart reports. And adding to this, you can also have some beautiful themes applied to this report. So you might be interested in any dark color themes or any light color themes. You can select it from the list. And after creating this report, you can click on save icon and then you can save this report. And then you can drop it under the existing folder. In this particular pivot table, you can also expand and collapse this information. So rather than displaying all the numbers on the report, you can make use of the collapse option so that you can just open up the value of your choice. So if I'm interested in knowing for the month of April, I can click on the April month. I can go by a particular campaign, look into the different ads, ad groups, and then ads. I can see the information for that particular ad. So this is about the pivot table. The next type of report which we are going to discuss is about the ZIA feature. So towards the left pane, you have this information, Ask ZIA. You can click on that. So as I told you earlier, Ask ZIA is an artificial intelligence and machine learning tool which helps you in creating reports based on any text commands or voice commands that you're going to give. You can tell ZIA, show conversions by country name. So you get to see the information based on different countries. So the number of conversions I have. I can also change the type of report here. So maybe I'm interested in a semi-pie chart or a ring chart. I can select anything of my choice. I can also tell Zia, show this in the form of a pivot view. So Zia will create a report in the form of a pivot view. After creating this report, you can click on save icon and then you can save this report. So rather than manually dragging and dropping the information, you can do this way. So you can also use the voice option to voice out the question in order to create those reports. So till now we saw how to create individual reports. The next thing which we are going to explore is how to put all this information in a single dashboard. So dashboards are more like a single page viewer where you can have multiple reports put together. I have a couple of charts and a pivot table and I want to visualize all of them in a single page. So that is when we create this dashboard. Towards my left, I have all the fields, all the reports that we have created so far. And we also get to see the set of reports which are auto-generated on my data set. All that we are going to do now is just drag and drop the required reports into our dashboard layout. So just to drag and drop and you will have the report included in this dashboard. So these reports can be placed in any order that you want. So you can have two reports, one beside the other or one below the other. It can be placed in any manner that you want. After adding the report, you can also auto adjust them this way. Okay. Adding to this, you can also have some widgets or key metrics highlighted in the business. So any metrics which needs to be highlighted, I can easily do it with the help of widgets here. On the top, you have widget option. You can click on add widget and you get to see 9 different widget templates here. So the first 2 rows of widget template will help you in displaying the value against the particular target, against a particular time period. The third row of widget will help you in defining the value against the target. Let's try to create a couple of widgets now. So here we have the widget templates. You can select any widget of your choice. And then here we have different data column. You can select the data column of your choice. So what value would you like to display on the dashboard? So I want to display a dashboard which talks about the number of conversions on a particular month. So I have the ads performance here, and then I have the conversion rate here. I want to select that. And I want to compare this information for the last 2 months. So I get to see the information accordingly. And here you can also modify the label here. To this widget, you can also have some beautiful background colors applied. You can select any color of your choice and then you can get them added to this dashboard. And let's also try to create one more widget here, maybe a dial chart widget. So here we can give the value. The data column is going to have the number of conversions. So I go with add performance and the conversions count. And I want to group this across the last 2 months and you get to see the information like this. So here, this is the target I expect from my business. That is 2,880 conversions I need. And this is how much I've got. So you can also modify the label here. And you can give some background colors for this widget as well. You can choose any color of your choice. And you can also define some ranges here. If you're somewhere in the 25% range or in the 50% range, you can have different colors applied. So it need not be 25, 50, 75, and 100. You can also have it a step ahead like 20, 40 like that. So this is completely customizable. So you can have any colors like this and then yes. So if you have some beautiful color choice, you can select it like this and then you can apply them. You can just add it like this. So after adding the widgets, you can also have some text box included in this dashboard. So be it the title of the report or any text notes that you would like to include, you can easily have them here. can click on add text option, and here you can provide some title for this dashboard. So this is going to be ads performance dashboard. And this text box can also contain some HTML links, or you want to modify this text in different type, you can do that here. And you can also justify this text, like align it and then include it in your dashboard. And the next is about adding some images to your dashboard. So if you have a company logo or any image you would like to include, you can make use of this option. Followed by that, we have the user filter option. So earlier we saw user filter for a particular chart report, but now in this dashboard, we have a list of dashboards, a list of reports here. So I cannot go and apply the filter criteria individually to each and every report. Rather, I select a particular criteria and the criteria should get applied to all the reports in my dashboard. So you can add some user filters here. You can just select whatever filter you want and then you can get into the view mode. So this is the end report. If you want to apply some beautiful themes to this report, you can get them applied here. Either you can go with some dark color themes or light color themes as per your choice, and then you can have those values. So if I select a particular campaign or ad, the entire dashboard will be filtered based on this criteria. So you do not have to go and apply the criteria separately to each and every report in this case. After creating this dashboard, you can click on save icon and then you can save this dashboard. You can drop it under the same folder of your choice. The last thing which we are going to discuss is about the sharing option. So after having created the reports, what are the different ways I can share and collaborate it with my end users? So there are different ways how you can share and collaborate it with your user. The first option here is about sharing a view privately with the user. So when you go with this option, you can also define the levels of permission and filter criteria for each and every user. So first thing is we're going to type in the email ID of the person with whom you're going to share this report. And then you have apply permissions and filter criteria where you can define the levels of permission for each and every user. So you can define whether they're going to view the underlying data. In that case, what are all the information are they going to see? So if there is any confidential information which you do not want to display, you can just unselect them. Coming to the filter criteria, you can select the criteria of your choice. So you can apply some criteria like the ad group name or the campaign name, and you will be able to see the information only based on that. So we have the campaign state. Sorry, I just want a campaign. Okay, the campaign state equal to enabled. So I'll be able to see the information only for this particular criteria. The rest of the information will be completely hidden from the dashboard that I'm going to share with this person. Okay, so this is how the sharing option works. The next option is emailing the reports directly to the user. So you can select the email ID of the person with whom you would like to send the report. And here, while sending the report, you can also schedule this email. You can define whether it's going to be a weekly schedule or daily schedule. You can define that. In case of a weekly schedule, you can also say on which day of the week at what time you want to send this report. So even if the person is located across different time zone, you will be able to select the time zone of your choice and then schedule this report. The next option is about embedding the reports within a web page or a blog. As I told earlier, if you would like to embed the reports, you can make use of this iframe. Even while embedding the report, you will be able to specify some URL criteria. The next is the permalink feature. In Zoho Analytics, you can share the reports in the form of links. Here there are two options. One is access with login and the other one is access without login. If you're going with access with login, then in order to access the report, the user has to log in into their Zoho Analytics account to view it. When you go with access without login option, you do not have to log in into Zoho Analytics. All that you have to do is just trigger this URL and the end user will be able to access the report. And moreover, the number of people with whom you're going to share this link can be unlimited. So these people will not be counted as a part of your user license. And the next is the slideshow feature. So if you have a big display unit in your organization, or you have some presentations coming up, and if you want to display these reports in the form of slides, you can make use of the slideshow option offered by Zoho Analytics. So this lets you to cycle through the reports one after the other in a periodic interval. So you do not have to create a PowerPoint presentation or anything. So you can also define the time period or the time interval between the slides. So the system will automatically keep cycling through the reports one after the other. So this is about the features and functionalities. I have a couple of more points to be covered in the presentation. Let me quickly take you there. So the next thing which we are going to discuss is about the pricing. Zoho Analytics comprises of four different pricing models, starting from the basic till the enterprise version. Based on the number of users and the volume of records, the plans are priced. The basic plan starts at $25 per month, which offers you with 2 users and 500,000 records, followed by which we have the standard plan for 5 users, and then the premium plan, which is for 15 users. So if you're going with the annual subscription, you also get a 10% discount on the overall pricing. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the question box. I'll be glad to assist you with that. And I'm also dropping you a webinar feedback form in the chat box. It would be really helpful if you could provide your valuable feedback on this webinar session. So the screen displays the resources through which you can reach us out in the future. So if you come up with any questions or you need any guidance, you can always get back to us. Our support team is available 24/5 round the clock. So either you can drop in an email to support@zohoanalytics.com, or you can also reach us out to the direct contact numbers listed on the screen. So if you have any questions, you can drop it. I'll be glad to address them. So I hope that today's session was helpful and informative. You got an overview about Zoho Analytics on the Google Ads and Google Analytics data. So I once again thank you all for taking part in today's webinar. Any questions anytime, you are most welcome to get back to our support team. We will be more than glad to help you out with that. Thank you so much. Have a good day and stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.